Malaysia sebagai moderator, yang berhormat Nurul, sahabat dan saudara-saudara dan saudari sedih. Saya rasa bermula dengan apa Jabbar yang kata mengenai peranan Tun Razak untuk menggalakkan orang yang bermuda. He said they encourage the young generation. Yeah, there was a young Prime Minister. In fact, he was the youngest to be the Prime Minister in Malaysia. Of all our 6 Prime Ministers, he became, when he became PM, he was the youngest, 48 years old. He was 48 years old. Let's compare to the other Prime Ministers. I have a note here. Where is it? Yeah. Tunku, of course, was when Tunku became where was it? Yeah. Tunku was 54, and when he became PM, I think Hussein On was 54, Mahathir was 56, then became PM. I think Najib was already about 58, and Pala was 61 or 62. So he was the youngest when he became PM. And before that, he was the UMNO youth leader at the age of 28. Deputy President of UMNO 29. Pahang Menteri Besar 33. Menteri Pendidikan atau Pelajaran masa itu 33. Timbalan Perdana Menteri 35. So I fully agree with Jabbar that we're having a younger generation, 45% di bawah 25, umur 25. It is time for the youth of Malaysians to ensure that the young generation play a bigger role instead of a lesser role. And I think that's a good message why we should think about the times of Tun Razak. Of course, I think the Malaysian Center has done a service to it's a series today, together with, in particular, the sons, their views and their memories of Tun Razak. And what Nazir has said, that his father akan terperanjat kalau dia ada sekarang, dan dapati bahawa masalah kaum dan agama lebih berpengaruh untuk memecah belah rakyat di Malaysia, to divide Malaysians. 39 years after he has passed away, 57 years after Malaya, 51 years after Malaysia, we seem to be even a worse position in terms of nation building. And I think that is one aspect, the somber background to nation building, from where I think we should ponder the period of Razak's years as PM. And now, Razak became PM after May 13. It was supposed to be the dark days, the dark tragedy of Malaysia. It was a very bad patch in the history of Malaysia. And the National Consultative Council was formed after the NOC, where Razak presided as a chairman, which came up with the Rukun Negara. Remember the Rukun Negara? Which is now becoming a document being attacked because there's a word there, liberal. The word was used in the Rukun Negara, and liberal is one of those dirty words today. Liberal, plural, pluralism, liberalism, although what they stand for is a multiracial society. And that was supposed to present a roadmap for a more united, harmonious society, and that was why the constitution was amended. The DAP opposed it. We don't think that was the way. And we gave our views, but the constitution was amended to remove what is regarded as contentious issues from the public arena. The 4 issues which were regarded as undebatable, cannot be questioned, and even for MPs, if you raise it, you will be charged and immediately found guilty of sedition. Your parliamentary immunity removed, and that they are with regard to 1 by 2 of the Constitution, on the language, on the special position, on the position of the rulers, and the fourth one, a lot of people have forgotten. What are the 4 perkara yang termaktub yang tidak boleh dipertikaikan? Can anybody remember what's the 4th? Everybody has forgotten the 4th. And the 4th thing is being challenged every day now. Citizenship rights. Citizenship rights. And there was a change. Everybody stay away from sensitive issues. Now you're talking about the cause for the removal of citizenship, not only of non-Malays, but even of Malays, for taking positions which certain extremists and bigots feel are unacceptable. And that is an immediate breach of the sensitive provisions, a violation of the Constitution. So I mean, these are where the so-called red lines are being violated. But, so why do we remember? Of course, he is a man of controversy. May 13, NEP, the new economic policy. In 1971, on the second Malaysia plan, when the new economic policy was incorporated for the first time, on behalf of the DAP, I said that as far as the overriding objective of the NEP is concerned, which is what? Achieving national unity. Don't forget, the purpose is mencapai perpaduan negara. Two prongs. And the 2 prongs are: 1, to eradicate poverty, untuk basmikan kemiskinan, and 2, to restructure society, to eliminate the identification of race with economic function. So, as far as both objectives, very noble. The only problem is, in the implementation, you have a situation, not only a 20-year policy which has extended to 45 years now, by hijack to become enrichment of the country. Alhamdulillah, Tan Sri Abdul Ahmad. The most important man in the Razak era. Well, just continue. When I was saying that dasar ekonomi baru, the overriding objective to mencapai perpaduan negara through the 2 prongs of eradication of poverty and the restructuring of society, in order to end identification of race with economic function. I declared, and Dollar over here, he was in Parliament, that we support as far as those as the overriding objective is concerned, as far as the 2 prongs are concerned. But of course, at that time we warned that it will be abused, and as has happened, it has been abused, where it has been used for the memperkayakan enrichment of the UMNO Putras in the name of the Bud Putras. And as a result, it became a very divisive and policy, because it's perceived as a policy which is aimed against the non-Malays, but finally only benefiting segelintir orang, pemimpin UMNO saja. And that's why Kamal Saleh recently, 1 week ago, has even called for the end of the Bobit Putra agenda, that the NEP should be put aside. After all, the inequalities, the disparity among the rich and the poor, among the Malays, is very, very great. And if there's a policy in order to help help the poor, it will be the Malays who will benefit. So these are areas which we will have to debate when the 11th Malaysia Plan comes up in June this year. But why do we want, we think we should remember Tun Razak? I think we should remember the first three prime ministers, Tun Abdul Rahman, Tun Razak, and Tun Hussein On. Because under the three prime ministers, the question of Malaysia as a democratic, liberal, which is the new word, democratic, liberal, multiracial, and secular nation with Islam as a religion of the federation was never questioned. Very clear. It was nobody really questioned that position. That Malaysia is a secular state with Islam as the religion of the federation. In fact, it was not only under the first three prime ministers, it was until 2001, for 47 years. But halfway through, Mahathir decided to jump ship. So I think that's something we have to. That was the very basis of the constitution. The constitution was very clear as to what type of nation we want to build, and it is on that basis that Sabah and Sarawak agreed to the formation of the Federation of Malaysia. It's very clear. And last week I was able to attend the launching of the book Tan Sri Wong Pao Ni, Unsung Patriot, and this is the beliefs of the founding fathers of the nation. Not only Tunku, Tun Razak, Tun Hussein, but also Tun Tan Ching Lock, Tun Samandam, even Wong Pao Ni. I mean, these are the guiding principles. That this is a secular nation. Islam is the religion of the federation, but we accept that this is a secular state. So I think that it is good to remember all this, and maybe it will be useful for Malaysians to especially remember the first three prime ministers, not just Tun Razak, but Tunku and Tun Hussein On. And I think that can be done very fast, because Tunku's death anniversary is on the 8th of February. 8th birth anniversary is on the 8th of February. And Hussein On's birth anniversary is on the 12th of February. So in January and in February will be an occasion for people to remember, to reaffirm, to restate the fundamental principle and basis of our nation. As the Malaysian Insider reported today that Nasir would have said that his father will be shocked that race, religion has played an even role to divide the nation. And I think this is a sad aspect of it. And you look at last year, so many terrible things happened. We are being devilled by disasters and misfortunes, whether it be the two MAS air crashes and the third one, Air Asia, or the worst floods catastrophe in living memory, or the growing 1MDB scandal, which promises to be threatens to be the mother of all financial scandals in the country, or even the Royal Commission inquiry into the mother of all problems in Sabah, the illegal immigrants problem, which has ended up in quite a farce. So many problems, and the gloomy economic situation with the crude oil falling to 46, 45 US dollars last 1 or 2 days, and the fall in all the major commodities, and of course the unprecedented rearing of the ugly head of the rhetoric and politics of extremism and bigotry. But despite all this, one gleam of hope is that open letter by 25 eminent Malays and the snowballing support by Malaysians for that call for moderation. I wonder, it may be worthwhile asking whether if Tun Razak is around, he would be more sympathetic to the call of the 25 eminent Malays and the support by Malaysians, in the open letter to the Prime Minister to provide leadership. to ensure that the rhetorics and the politics of extremism is held in check and reined in. I would think they would be more sympathetic, rather than now, the 25 being asked to cool their heels for more than a month and still no appointment being fixed to meet the Prime Minister. Because I think that, as Musaitam mentioned in the interview with the Malaysian Insider, the founders of the founding fathers of the nation have all believed in liberalism, in pluralism, in multiracialism. And I think this is something that we should hold dear, because this is the basis of this nation. And I think if we can take some lessons from this aspect, because I think it's important. If this nation is to survive, if this nation is to survive, it must remain to be open, liberal, although the word is getting dirty. Even Musa said, words are getting dirty and need to be sanitized. And I think there's a need for the moderates of the country to reclaim this land of ours, of all Malaysians, of all faiths, of all regions. And so I think it's important on the occasion of this 39th the death anniversary of the Razak, for us to remember that this nation was meant to be a nation for all races, for all faiths, to be an open and a liberal society, which has come under great attack recently in the last 1 or 2 years. Never before have the relations between race and religion been so frayed. And makes me think about, in February, we have what is known as the Interfaith Harmony Week, which is a United Nations event, which was actually suggested by the King Abdullah of Jordan. And this was commemorated since 2011. This is the 4th year. I think that Malaysia, in particular, the Malaysian government, should make a special point to celebrate and to mark this Interfaith Harmony Week in order to present a force against extremism and bigotry and intolerance, which is rearing the ugly head. Maybe it will be useful for each religion to be appointed responsible each year in rotation to spearhead the celebration of Interfaith Harmony Week. Because I think there is a need for the country to strengthen ourselves in these departments if you are going to survive as a plural society, especially with recent events, what happened in Paris, the terrorism attacks, the rise of the Islamic State with its inhuman mass murders and beheadings. I think there is a need that Malaysia should be able to show the world we are an oasis of multi-racial, multi-religious, multicultural, multilingual harmony, instead of as if we are going to follow in the wake of these extremist fashions. So if these occasions to remember the 3 Prime Ministers of Malaysia can make Malaysians think about the need to play a bigger role to strengthen our foundation and basis as a nation for a plural society, I think there will be some useful contribution. So with that, I will just end my remark, and time for us to listen to the most important person in the Razak era, Tola.